Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome to the latest episode of Beyond the Tape, where we talk to rad people doing rad things in the mountain bike industry. This episode, we are chatting with the Meier Smith Brothers, some guys that got into the sport, I guess, relatively late for some, but they've only been doing it for like 5 or 6 years. And yeah, 2022 was a killer season, so we chat about avocado farming, bikes, racing, a bit of everything. So really enjoy this episode, and I hope you do first as well. Before we jump in, though, I've got to say thank you to some of our supporters. Without these guys, this podcast wouldn't exist. So firstly, let's say thanks to Trek. These guys make some of the best bikes on the market. I know since I got my Slash, I've been absolutely frothing. That bike feels like a bike that you just sit into. It's super playful, but can be raced. It can be ridden as a trail bike. It can be doing anything. It's so good that I literally just sold one to get another one. Don't know why, but I did. Getting that fresh new color, the orange, and it's going to look sick. Can't wait to kit it up. When I'm talking about kitting it up, let's talk about NSI Dynamics. They are one of the best suspension servicing companies in the country, but they also do some really rad suspension brands like Olin, DVO, Force Sprung, a bunch of other stuff that just keeps your bike glued to the ground. The yellow and orange might clash, but man, I'm keen to get like an Olin's TTX coil on there, maybe a 36 or a 38 fork, keep that thing glued to the ground, or make it as playful as possible. They're super tunable suspension, absolutely love it. So make sure you hit up NS Dynamics for some of the best suspension tuning and products in the country. Now, I cannot state enough how much I love Tassie and how much I want to go ride down there. It's about 3 weeks until I get back down to Maydena, and I'm dreaming of it every night. Now, traveling is an absolute pain in the dick. I hate having to organise accommodation, cars, transport, flights, everything. It's just a pain in the neck, and it sometimes takes all the fun out of those travels. Taylor Trails offer a completely customized trail riding experience for you to go and visit Tasmania and experience the best trails first off the bat. They will tell you what trails are running rad for the time that you're down there. They'll tell you which ones will suit your preferences, suit the way you ride. And they'll also organise some of the best accommodation, food, beers, whatever you need to get the best out of your experience down there. So make sure if you're heading to Tassie, hit up Taylor Trails and take all the stress out of the trip and enjoy the riding. Working on my bike, gotta love dealing with Lead Out Sports. These guys offer the best tools and lubes and everything you can think of. I've actually just got some of their Unite cranks. The Unite cranks that Lead Out have started bringing in are super, super sexy. You can see all the tooling marks. It looks amazing. You can definitely tell they're made by robots. But the big thing about these cranks is they're not much heavier than NX or GX, but my heels don't touch them. They've done some sort of black magic where my heels don't scuff the cranks, and that's the first set of cranks I've ever had that do that. And they just look so sexy. The chainring looks amazing too. So if you want some really, really custom nice looking kit, make sure you hit up Lead Out for some of the Unite products. Talking about custom kit that looks rad, Franked. These guys offer some of the best clothing on the market, and with the code Beyond the Tape 10, you can get 10% discount off of their already amazing value prices. I have said it once and I'll say it again. Their AirTech jersey is super comfortable. Their pants are damn amazing, and their jacket for this weather we're having now has been a godsend. I can't state how much I love their kit, and I'm stoked to be on Franked. If your bike's getting muddy and you're getting a bunch of kangaroo shit in the eyes and you're over cleaning your stanchions on your forks every ride, make sure you hit up Dirt Surfers for some of their 100% recyclable, 100% recycled mudguards. I just got some fresh custom ones from them, and they look amazing. The printing jobs they do are phenomenal. They never fade. They don't chip. They don't crack. They just work. So make sure you head over to dirtsurfers.com, use Beyond the Tape to get a bit of a discount and keep the mud out of your eyes. Crush, keep my bikes clean. Their waterless wash is a godsend for those trips away. Spray it on your bike, give it a couple of minutes to cut through the dirt, wipe her off, give her a bit of polish, good to go. absolutely amazing kit. And Fist, I mean, I can never say this enough. Fist is some of the best gloves I have ever worn. And now that they've done a collab with Hills Hoist, then I cannot wait to get some of those in my hands. They've also just released a rad collab with Dixon as well. So make sure you hit those guys up for keep your hands protected, warm, and gripping those bars. Anyway, that's enough of me dribbling. I hope you enjoy this episode. It's pretty rad. Love chatting with these boys. As per usual, grab beer, grab a water, grab a wine, grab whatever makes you happy and enjoy this episode. Into it and get started straight away?
Yeah, right. Sure, we can do that.
See how we go. First podcast, actually, so.
Yeah, sick. All right, well, yeah, the Meier Smith Brothers, welcome to the potty. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you, Darren.
Thanks, Darren. Stoked to be on the podcast.
You definitely sound it.
Yeah.
I got one of the hard-hitting questions straight up, but what's with the avocado farming and stuff you guys have been doing?
Yeah. So our dad actually owns an avocado farm, so we've lived there our whole lives. And yeah, he's been avocado farming for how long? Since before we were born?
20 years or so.
Shit.
Yeah, so he's pretty full-time there always and try and give him a hand when we can, basically, yeah.
So, the avocado farm, it's up on the Comboyne Plateau. So, like west of Kew and Laurelton, which is southwest of Port Macquarie. And, so we grew up there and, we pretty much worked there with Dad. But he planted avocados, I think, back in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of been how, our family's made our money over the years from the avocados.
That's a pretty unique, upbringing, yeah? I don't know anyone that's done that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Probably not in the mountain bike scene. It's probably almost the first. No, it's some good hills up there and stuff, and I built a bit of a track in the backyard, and so good for training.
Mm.
Yeah, it's sick.
So you've been riding ever since you were kids, and then just working on the farm.
Yeah, sort of. We started. I did a few different sports when I was younger, and then both got into BMX when I was 11, and Remi was 9, and sort of started from there basically, and then moved to mountain biking when I was about 15. I think Remi was 13-ish.
Yeah,
around there.
We did before we started BMX in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
So a fair while ago now, but before that we did a bit of soccer,
a bit of tennis, all the usual.
Karate. And we even, before we started BMX, we did just a couple local cross-country races. We joined the Port Macquarie Hastings Mountain Bike Club. So that was probably 2012, but we didn't do much of that. And then, one day, Dad saw something in the newspaper about the Taree BMX club. So that was start of 2013. And we got into BMX from there.
Yeah, that's how it all kicked off, really. BMX, yeah.
So it didn't take long for you to get sick of riding XC?
Yeah.
Well, we only did it a few times, really. We had just pretty crappy bikes, did a few races, got pretty smoked by some fit units, and
yeah. When we were really young, actually, I was probably only 6, Luke maybe 7, 8, somewhere there. We were right into riding the motos when we were really young, and we were going to start MX racing, but that sort of never happened. Yeah, that just
downhill anyway. So
yeah.
Is it too dangerous for her?
Yeah. She wasn't very keen on the moto, just because of how dangerous it is. But I mean, downhill probably isn't far off, really.
I was about to say.
Yeah. Back then, Mum and Dad weren't so keen when we were little grommets, but and it was expensive as too. But we were into BMX 2 years later anyway, so it was all good.
So you were racing, yeah?
Yeah, we raced BMX. Yep.
Yeah, race BMX.
So we did that for a good probably 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What was that like? Like, what's the scene like up there, and how'd it kind of go for you guys?
Yeah, the BMX scene, we did like the New South Wales State Series for like a few years and did the national champs and stuff. And when we were younger, the BMX scene was really good, like hundreds of people at all the races and stuff.
Yeah, pretty. I mean, when you get into BMX racing, it's like pretty much everyone races. It's not really too many people that just ride. So yeah, it was a good starting point, and a good base to learning all the basics like pumping and jumping and manualing and all that. But yeah, racing wise, like I wasn't great. I'd say Rem was probably better for his age. Like I made like 1 or 2 state finals. That was about it. Rem made a national final.
Yeah.
When we were 11.
Yeah. It was pretty hard. There were so many kids that did it at such a young age back then. So
yeah, and we were sort of started late. Like I was 11, and
most people started BMX when like 3 or 4. But no, it was good fun. Yeah, it's certainly you get all the fundamental skills to be a good bike rider from BMX. So no, it was great. I really enjoyed the BMX days.
What was the racing like for you guys? Like, what attracted you to the racing side of it? Were you super competitive straight away, or?
Yeah, I've always been super competitive, I'd say. Remi as well, but I'd probably say I'm probably even more competitive than him most of the time. Yeah, I don't know. Racing's, it's just, love being competitive and battling with people. Be the best, really.
I think we so we joined the Manning Valley BMX Club and just started doing the club races there and stuff. And then I think our first BMX race was Sawtell, which is probably like May in 2013. So just up sort of Coffs Harbour way. And then, we just, from there on, every second weekend, we were chasing the state series, going down south and up north. And then in 2014, we did the national champs down in Victoria. And then, we did lots of racing from there on.
Were you like, I mean, it's crazy to think that you're saying you came into old, but you're 11.
Yeah. Well, I mean, old for BMX, like when we were getting into it, there was like so many kids that were already like really good, but they've been doing it since they were like 3 or 4, sort of. Lots of kids got into it like really young, like as soon as they could ride a bike type of thing. So definitely made it a bit harder for us to be competitive. And we didn't really become really good, but we weren't bad. And it was a really good base for us, mountain biking.
How'd you kind of find mountain biking after that, and what attracted you to the big bikes?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not really sure how we really found it. My dad, actually, he used to race road and velodrome as well. Yeah, velodrome.
Okay.
So he was into bikes, and he did a bit of, when we were younger, quite a bit of mountain biking, like up at Comboyne. He had like an XC bike and would do quite a lot of riding, and he did the occasional race here and there. So probably from him, sort of just jumped on the bikes and started getting into the racing scene in mountain biking.
I think I'd say 2016 was our last full season of BMX, and I think Luke got into mountain biking before me. I sort of loved the BMX and was like pretty attached to that, and then I think Luke did. I think he did a few like cross country races again. Like did a few. I think he did like some coaching with Jason English. That was probably like 2016 on your first sort of XC bike. That's sort of how Luke started getting into it. And then so 2016 I was still doing BMX, and then I think 2016 I did Cannonball, and I did all right down there, and I was after that I was like, oh, this mountain biking stuff's pretty sick. And then in 2017 did the Downhill National Series, and I was actually doing pretty good. And then I was sort of, by then I was like, yeah, I'm ditching the BMX. So I think in 2017 maybe did 1 or 2 BMX races, but that was sort of when BMX sort of ended. Yeah.
What bikes were you guys riding for your first mountain bikes?
I had a Giant XTC. Actually, it was my first bike. It's like a hardtail. Yeah, it was pretty sweet. Just like super light, 26-inch, like, and sort of, yeah. Everyone was saying, "Oh, you need a like dual suspension and all this," and we were just rocking up with the hardtail rigs. But then, yeah, from there, what did I have after that? My first sort of enduro downhill sort of bike. Dad sort of bought a Focus, and it was an enduro bike, but he put downhill forks on it. So it's like a bit of a hybrid setup for like enduro and downhill. So I raced that and like some enduros and some downhills as well.
Yeah. My first mountain bike was actually a dual suspension. It was a Trek Top Fuel, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it was actually a really good bike. It was like carbon and actually an expensive little bike, sort of more still like an XC bike.
It's so small. It was like like a women's bike even? No?
Yeah, it was tiny. It had that small. It was a sick bike, and that was my first bike that we started doing mountain biking on. I remember, I think it was in 2015, still when we were doing BMX, we did the Queensland State Downhill Champs, and I was on that bike, and I remember like just running down the whole track. And I remember Luke coming past me in our race runs.
Yeah, I overtook him in my race run, and he was running down some section, like pretty steep section, and I'm coming past, and he's like, "Go, Luke, go, Luke." Yeah, that was how it all started. Yeah,
but yeah, I remember back then I was so scared of downhill. I was like, "Oh, this is way too gnarly."
Yeah, right.
XC bike just sprinting down the rock gardens and stuff. But yeah. No,
did you end up breaking those bikes?
Yeah, I remember actually at that same event. So I think that we were at Canungra. Yeah. I don't know if that track exists anymore, but I think on the practice day I like my shock ripped a big chunk of carbon out of the frame.
Yeah.
And the shock was just like loose in the frame, and that night
just glued it down.
Yeah, Dad just like put some glue on it, and I raced on it the next day, and it was all good.
That's insane.
Yeah. My bike as well. I had the Focus. The shock I had in it, the rear shock was like too much travel. So when I bottom out, the frame would it would hit the alloy, and it was like a dent spot from like bottom out because it was like too much suspension for the bike.
Yeah.
It would have been fine over time, right? Just keep denting it out until it doesn't dent anymore.
Yeah, we ran a pretty loose operation back when we started.
It's the best way to be.
Yeah.
So it sounds like your dad's been like a huge part of like your racing.
Yeah, without him, like we wouldn't have been able to be where we are. Like he took us overseas. Well, for me, my first junior year in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's been a big part in it for sure.
Yeah. Dad's pretty sick. Like he's always been right into it. So when he was younger, he did road racing, and he was really good at it. Actually, I'll probably say when he was sort of my age, like 17, 18, 19, 20, he won like 2 Australian championships, and he was doing insanely well. And then I think he started going backwards because he was overtraining or something. Like he used to just go nuts. And then I think he took like 6 months off or something. And then he sort of just went surfing
and never came back.
But and yeah, you know, Dad back in the BMX days, he drove us all around the country, and he's done a lot for us, that's for sure. Yeah. And taken us overseas for the mountain biking, and he's forked out a lot of money. So yeah, no, it's been sick.
Did he kind of coach you and teach you a lot about training and riding and how to race and stuff as well? Like obviously he put a fair bit of money into it, but he would have taught you a fair bit.
Yeah, not so much really. We sort of just found our feet, I guess, and with training as well. Like I've got into the training like quite a lot. I sort of just figured it out myself, and sort of had the earlier days had Jason English helping me out. And he's like 24-hour world champ, so he knows how to put yourself into the pain box. So yeah, not so much. We just sort of figured it out as we went. Basically, yeah.
That's sick. Yeah. So did you kind of just come into the mountain bike scene and start just winning, or like how did that kind of go?
No, not really. Hey, early on, our first race was probably the first big race, like probably Cannonball. What year was that? 2015, yeah. I think. And I was in the under 15s. Yeah, under 15s. And I
got 12th in the downhill.
I came 12th in the under 15s, and Jackson Connolly beat me by a minute.
Right. Okay.
So no, it took us a few years to get up there. But yeah, that was got pretty smoked by Jackson on that one. Yeah. I couldn't figure out how he beat me by a minute.
But he probably just held on, He can just hold on for so long.
Yeah, he's been quick there so all his life, hasn't he? Local, so but yeah, we were pretty squid when we started.
Yeah, back then I remember in 2015 I didn't even do the downhill because I wasn't quite up to it yet. And then 2016, I think this is at Cannonball as well. I think I got a podium in the Flow Motion Cup. I think Jackson won that. And I did the downhill as well that year. I had a Giant Glory. And I don't know what I ended up, to be honest. But that was probably one of my first downhill races. Cannonball 2016, yeah.
Still, that's like 6 years ago. Like,
yeah, that's a long time ago now.
But it's not like when you think about it, like you're coming in at under 15s, like just starting, and in 6 years you've gone from that to where you are now. Like your progression's been huge.
Yeah. Cheers, man. Yeah,
thanks, mate.
Definitely been a good curve.
Well, so when did you decide to go overseas? When did you kind of think about doing that? If you're not hitting like top level local stuff. Yeah,
it was. We did a few of the Crankworks events. They were our sort of first overseas races. Was 2017 the first year we went?
I think 2018. Yeah.
I think no, even 2017.
No.
Yeah, 2017, 2018. We went over. We did New Zealand Crankworks and Whistler. That was sort of the first international races we did. And yeah, I went all right. I think I got a third in the air downhill at the Whistler Crankworks. I think I got a fourth or fifth in the downhill. And yeah, basically from there, just kicked off with the overseas racing. And then, yeah, like I was saying, in 2019 was my first junior year. And we did I think we did 4 or 5 of the World Cups. Not all of them, but yeah. And I was like consistent top 10 and got a podium at the last race in snowshoe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my first international race was Rotorua in 2018. So, and I think I was racing against Luke. It was like a 13 to 16 category.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can't remember doing much there. And then I went to Whistler as well in 2018. And on like the third day of riding, I had a huge crash and lacerated my kidney. So
on A-line.
Yeah, on A-line. So that ended my Crankworks Whistler. So I didn't really get to see how I was going to line up against all the boys over there. But yeah, I think Jackson, he was doing pretty well. And I think Tristan Lemire was the man to beat that year. Yeah. So that was when I first sort of heard of those boys. And then this year and last year, I've been racing against them.
It's so sick.
Yeah.
I love how you just breeze over the fact you lacerated a kidney.
Yeah. That was a pretty bad injury. So I think I was in hospital for a few days, and it was pretty painful. Sure was painful for a few days there, but it didn't take too long to heal.
Mm-hmm.
So I just watched Crankworks and stuff, and then I think 6 weeks later I was all good.
Yeah, right.
It healed up pretty quick. So, but yeah, that was probably my worst injury I've had. Yeah.
Was it daunting going over international at such a young age and racing? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, it's definitely different. Obviously Australia, the scene's a little bit smaller, so yeah, a lot more competition over there. So yeah, definitely got to step your game up. But yeah, I think we managed well, really. But yeah, definitely a lot more competition over there. So
Yeah.
you got to bring your A game.
I can't remember what I was thinking back then, but 2018, yeah, I was loving it. Going over there I remember I was having so much fun at Whistler those first few days, and then just ended. But yeah. No, it's sick. Hopefully I can get back there one day.
Yeah, that's actually the only time you've been there, hey?
Yeah, I haven't gone back to Whistler since.
No way.
Crash, yeah.
How's that work?
Oh, I don't know.
Luke did Crankworks Whistler in 2019, and I didn't go to that. I stayed here at home.
Yeah, you're at home. Yeah.
But maybe this year coming, I can make the return to A-Line.
Yeah. Didn't you race like enduro and stuff there this year? No, it wasn't there this year, was it?
No, it wasn't there. Yeah, no.
Oh, they had the EWS at Whistler this year.
Mm.
Luke and
I didn't actually have to do it. That's right.
Luke and I weren't there. I think Ryan did Whistler though.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
The Montana World Cup sort of almost interfered with the Whistler EWS. So yeah, just did the World Cup, and I was lucky enough to have the results to sort of be able to skip one or two, because for under 21 they only take your 5 best results.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think I had 3 or 4 wins at the time, and yeah, I only needed like one more good result to sort of wrap it up. So yeah.
What's it been like trying to balance enduro and downhill? Like, you're both doing well, right?
Yeah, it's definitely hard. Next year we're looking at doing the first 2 EWSs and then probably just the downhill, so less EWS than this year. But since I've been in under 21, sort of been chasing that overall. Yeah, it was pretty straining this year. Like, I'd say after like 3 months, I was feeling it pretty hard. Like before the racing, like yeah, getting a bit burnt out to the end. Towards the end. So
yeah.
And yeah, like training wise, it's a bit hard, like to juggle, trying to be like really fit, but then also you need to be like super strong for downhill, and vice versa. So, but I feel like both come across each other well, like you know, keeping your fitness up on the enduro, and then having that raw speed from downhill and like bringing that to the enduro sort of scene helps.
I think, this year I was just focusing on the downhill, and I did some of the enduros as well. Just, you know, so good for your fitness and more time on the bike and everything. But yeah, the enduro stuff's hard. It's definitely a lot different to downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got pretty smoked at a lot of the EWSs. I was doing all right at Tweed Valley, but in all other ones, I was well off the pace. But yeah, I think it is definitely hard trying to train for both. I mean, I've sort of just have been focusing on the downhill stuff, but it's just the fitness for enduro. You honestly need to be that fit. Yeah. But yeah,
both of our focuses have always been sort of on downhill, and then I've just done some EWS and enduro stuff on the side.
Yeah.
And then this year obviously went really well in the EWS. So
it's fair to say, for something you do on the side, you had a pretty damn good year.
Yeah, it was good, really good.
Yeah, I think next year, so we'll do Maydena and Derby, the EWS next year, and then
Probably
if there's something in Europe we can do, I guess we could go to that as well. But I think maybe for me, I've got under 21 next year, and then also 2024.
Okay.
Maybe in 2024, I might think about. Well, it depends on how I'm doing in downhill, but I could maybe try and train for enduro and maybe win the overall as well. So yeah, but
yeah, because you got 1 year left in juniors. No, you're elite for downhill next year, right?
Yeah,
but then you're juniors for another 2 years.
Junior for another 2 year in enduro. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah, because you literally lost like 2 stages, right, Luke? Like from the whole year.
Yeah, I think I lost. I think at the last round that I won, I lost maybe 2 there, and then otherwise it was like only 1 on the other 4 races I won. So yeah, almost clean sweep, but not quite. But yeah, that was pretty awesome.
What's it like for you, Remi, to see Luke doing that well and just taking the clean sweep almost? Like, is that inspiring, or you just want to beat him in 2024?
Yeah. No, it was pretty inspiring. I guess Luke certainly works very hard, and I could clearly see that was working and paying off. It was pretty awesome to see though. Like a lot of the enduro stuff, I sort of sometimes I thought like, I might have thought I had like a really good stage, but then Luke's like so far ahead of me, and I'm just like, how's that possible? I like every EWS this year, I'm like, oh, surely something's going to go wrong this time. He's going to get a flat tire. He'll get a mechanical. But every time,
just wishing the worst on him.
Yeah. But like every time after every EWS, it's just like, oh, Luke, he's won again. I'm like, geez, how's he doing it? Yeah, definitely inspiring to see my brother do that. So yeah, hopefully next year or the year after I can do that as well, maybe.
Are both your like approaches to racing similar, or are you completely different? Because I get the vibe, it's going to be different.
Yeah, I'd say I'm pretty like serious and regimented when it comes to like training and stuff. I'd say Rem's a bit more laid back at times, and even like racing wise, like I'm a bit more. I can get a bit more stressed sometimes. Rem's a bit more laid back. But no, Rem still puts the work in as well. But yeah, I'd say, yeah, I'm a bit more on edge sometimes. Rem's sort of a bit more of a laid back approach, which I mean I try to adopt as well, because there's no point, getting stressed before you race run, or you got to keep yourself calm and focused. So
yeah.
Are you taking pages out of Luke's book, Rem? Are you like trying to be more regimented and stuff, or you just like to be chill?
I mean, I put in a lot of work before this year. Like, I definitely did a good few months of training there. I was doing everything Luke's doing pretty much, but I'd say Luke probably takes it more seriously than me, I'd say. So, like, I mean, if I get a bad result or whatever, I don't try not to take it too seriously and just have fun with it and stuff. But I think I'd say I've been pretty regimented as well. But Luke's definitely on another level at the races, like having everything super organized and ready to go, and my approach has been a bit more laid back. I think that's worked for me as well. So but no, definitely Luke's taken a few pages out of my book, and I've taken a few pages out of his book, if you know what I mean. So yeah.
You're clearly a little bit opposite of each other, a bit of chalk and cheese. Are you guys ever arguing or like getting on each other's nerves? Because you spend 99% of the time together.
Yeah, we're definitely a little bit overseas for sure. We definitely butted heads a little bit a few times. Just with, it's being over there. This was actually this year was our first time heading over there by ourselves. So
all right.
Yeah, that was a pretty big step for us, like, and my first time like driving over there like the whole time. So I was trying to get Rem to help me, and sometimes he just a bit useless sometimes. But no, he obviously he's young and I'm older, so got to steer the ship a bit.
So you guys are driving yourselves around and traveling by yourselves?
Yeah, we were this year. Yeah, we're able to this year. Yeah.
How's that kind of work? Because if you're on like the propane factory team, I kind of thought you'd be getting driven around type of thing, or
so
is it?
We have, so the team have propane. They have two sort of team vans. So we were given like one of them. It's like a cross camp, which one of the team sponsors.
Okay.
Which has like a pop-top bed setup, little cooker and everything, which is pretty sweet. And then it was pretty good. When we needed to head off for the EWS and stuff. But yeah, like when we'd be at the downhills and then when we'd head onto another downhill, we'd sort of convoy with the truck and that type of thing. Yeah. So
you're just keeping Ryan Gilchrist in the back of that truck the whole time? Or?
Yeah. No, he was out and about. He was getting around, wasn't he?
Yeah.
All the EWS races.
He seemed like an adopted Meier Smith for a little bit there.
Yeah, we did. We stayed with him most of the EWSs. Actually, sort of went halves on the Ecom half the time for the EWSs and that type of thing. Yeah. So he's a good mate and a rival as well.
Yeah, he's getting quick. He's getting real quick.
Yeah.
So, how did the whole propane thing kind of come about?
Yeah, so in 2019, I think one of my sponsors was V Tyco. So propane were on V Tyco, and I sort of had, I think it was at Andorra, I had a few issues with my bike, and I sort of popped into their tent and like said hello and asked if they could give me a hand, a few issues I had with my bike, and they were happy to help me. And then Ben Reid, the team manager, like took notice of me and was sort of following me for the season. And it wasn't really looking like I was going to get on the team that year. And then I managed to pull off a second at the last race in Snowshoe, West Virginia. And then from there they're like, geez, we better get him on the team. And then so from there on, 2020 was my first year of propane.
Sick. Were you on the same team at the same time, Remi, or did you come on later?
No, so 2020 was Luke's first year on propane, and obviously that was like the COVID year where no World Cups really even happened and stuff. And I think I was still on the pivot back then, and I think at national champs that year I was doing really well, and I think I won qualies by a fair bit, and then had a big crash on race day, and didn't end up getting to the final run. And then I don't think many races happened after that. And then I think I went down to Tasmania and did the Tassie state champs at Maydena on the downhill. And I did really well down there and did like a super good time against like Baxter and Dan and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was probably September. And then I think Dad was just like, oh, if you're looking for a junior for 2021, we've got Remi here who's keen as, and sent through a few of my results. And Ben took me on and gave me a shot. So I got pretty lucky in a way. Like there definitely wouldn't have been any other teams picking me up. So
with myself already being on the team, like Reedy was pretty stoked on myself, and he was pretty keen to get the younger brother on as well. Yeah.
Ben Reid's been around a long time and raced a lot. What was it like having him as the manager and getting you sorted?
Yeah, it's been awesome. He's been a great team manager, and he knows quite a lot, about the bikes and setup. So definitely helped us with that throughout the season and the last few years. So he's a super good guy and a really good team manager. So it's
No, Ben's helped me out heaps. It's been really good having Ben as a team manager. Like, he knows, because he's rode himself and raced, he sort of understands everything. So he's really knowledgeable with bike setup and how it all works and stuff, and what to do at the races, and helping me get prepared for the race run and stuff. So it was awesome. It's been awesome with Ben Reed. So yeah, but he certainly helped me out a lot this year. We got some sick results together and stuff. Yeah, it's been great.
Was there anything like you guys changed to have the year that was 2022? Like, was there something in the team? Was it coaching, or what did you kind of change? Because you both had like mammoth years.
Yeah, for sure. We had this year was actually I was getting coached by Jason English for since like probably 2019, 2020, 2021. And then this year, Ben suggested Alan Milway, who's been around the World Cup circuit for a long time. And we got on board with him. And yeah, he's been awesome. So I definitely think that helped. But really for me, I feel like even in 2021, I got some pretty good results and like had some good speed, but I got a bit plagued with some injury, dislocating my shoulder at Worlds in 2021 at Valli Hoel, and even the year before as well, COVID season, I broke my knuckle at the first World Cup, and then was unable to race any of the other races, and it was all finished within like a month or so because of COVID. And they only had, I think it was four races, and there was sort of like no overall or anything. So I was unable to compete in 2021 for the World Cups. So yeah, just injuries a little bit, I think, as well. But and all the hard work, I guess, paying off.
Yeah. I think for me, having Alan, so at the start of this year, we had Alan Milway giving us the program. And I think just having a regimented program for me to follow every week really helps. And Alan obviously knows what he's doing. So his training program, I think, is seriously good, and it's going to really help you get faster on the bike. So in 2021, like Luke said, he was using Jason as a bit of a coach. I think I was kind of just doing my own thing. Like, I'll do this tomorrow, do that next day. But I think just a good few months of training in the gym and stuff over last summer, and then a bit of a growth spurt for me, and bulked up a little bit. Last year I was pretty small, and came into Lords and did really well. So
what's like the biggest difference you could feel on the bike from good training? Like, was there something you just went, oh, this is different?
Yeah, I feel like for me, I've always been pretty into the training side. Since I was probably 16, 17. So, in the gym a lot, and sprint training, on the bike training, all of that. I guess it's all just starting to pay off. But I think especially for downhill, like the gym side of things, like the strength, you can definitely notice that, like being able to take all the hits and power through those type of things. And I think just all the hard work sort of paying off, really.
I think the strength and fitness is definitely what I noticed. Like doing Alan's program, getting way stronger, getting fitter. You just jump on the bike and you just feel so much better, so much more like stable and stuff. I mean, even though downhill is only a 3-4 minute run, I think you just want to be as fit as possible, as strong as possible, and all that helps so much on the bike. Like, if I jumped on the bike right now, I'd just feel like had a few weeks off. Just no strength, and wouldn't be able to take the hits, and just the strength and fitness certainly going to help massively on the bike.
Do you think it helps prevent or be able to ride through injuries and stuff as well?
Yeah, for sure. It definitely helps staying injury free a little bit and that type of thing. Yeah, for sure.
Like, for example, Remi, you had that horrendous crash where it looked like you put a dent in the road at, I can't remember what it was it Andorra or something?
Yeah, Andorra.
Like, how did you walk away from that for one? And like, what was going through your mind? Because that looked horrendous.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Yeah, I mean, so I smacked my head very hard in that crash, and yeah, I came away with nothing was broken or anything. I could get up, but yeah, I hit my head pretty hard. So for the next like 2 or 3 weeks after that, I was pretty tired and couldn't really sleep and stuff. So I was on a really good run at Andorra. I was riding well that weekend, and then had that huge crash. And we went to Snowshoe after that. Snowshoe was 2 weeks later, and I felt like I had no fitness and stuff, and it was so hard on that track as well because it was so muddy and slippery. And yeah, I did pretty bad there. Just wasn't on the pace, had no energy and stuff, and I couldn't, because I felt, even though I smacked my head hard, I felt fine sort of after that crash. Like I was knocked out for a little bit, but I didn't really think it was anything too serious. And then even at Mont Saint Anne as well. So Mont Saint Anne was 3 weeks after Andorra, and I hit my head again at Mont Saint Anne actually.
Yeah,
just
right.
had a little washout on a corner. And sort of hit my head again. And after that, I just lost all my confidence and did pretty terrible at Mont Saint Anne as well. But yeah, I definitely think I learned a fair bit from that crash, especially with like knowing what to do when you hit your head and stuff, because it really does affect your whole body. But it's sometimes you might not notice it really, and you think you feel fine, but yeah, you can see in my results in those following races, I wasn't on podium speed anymore or anything like that. So, yeah. And then I think after Mont Saint Anne, I had a week off. Luke did the EWS, and I just had like a week of just laying around on the couch. And I remember that week, I like couldn't sleep at all at night for that whole week for some reason. But then after that, that week off really helped me recover, and then came back for world champs, and I was all good.
When your head takes a knock, your body just shuts down sometimes and just doesn't want to do anything, and it can take months. It's the worst.
Yeah, there's definitely been a few people that have had it pretty bad. Like, I think Tani Seagrave's been off the bike all year.
Yeah,
like she's had it a lot worse than me, that's for sure.
I think Fioron was telling me he was just in a room, pitch black for 2 weeks, did nothing, because that's the only way to recover. So
yeah, for sure. Oh, Connor, yeah, true.
So it's good to see people are taking it seriously now, though.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have learnt a lot more about it over the last few years now. Yeah.
And Luke, you rode through some injuries this year as well. Like you had a broken hand and a couple other little things.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was. I didn't actually end up getting an X-ray, so I don't think it was broken. I think it was just some bad sort of bone bruising. But yeah, that was in Snowshoe, and I was sort of on a bit of a roll until then, and that sort of set me back a little bit. Took me a little bit to get my pace back up. But yeah, geez, those Snowshoe rocks, like. That's with them, hey, like this. It was like you were on an ice skating ring, like just trying to like hold the bike straight, like with all your force you could put into the bike, like, and it made you use so much energy as well, like trying to keep the bike straight. And yeah, just had a little slightly offline, washed the front wheel over this rock, and landed on some more rocks on my wrist, and I wasn't really sure if I was even going to race. My wrist like swelled up pretty bad. And then because I was protected, I just broke the beam on qualifying day,
Mm-hmm.
and didn't even ride at all. And then dropped in for practice morning, and it wasn't all that bad. And managed. What did I salvage? I think I was 36 or something.
Yeah, 36.
So not too bad in the end. For not even thinking I was going to race for a day or two there.
Yeah, to come down that track with an injury or to get down that track on that weekend alone was a mammoth effort. Like everyone was having issues.
Yeah. I knew if I just even just got down the hill, I'd get an all right result because so many people were crashing. So I had a few little foot dabs and stuff, but it wasn't too bad of a run. I just got down and came away with 36.
And so you're coming up into the end of the season and you head to Leger for World Champs, and that looked like the biggest race ever to ever happen. Talk to us about that. Like, firstly, you're wearing your Australian colours. What is it? 3 years into traveling overseas, you're representing the country, and then you're in France at one of the biggest races. Like, what was that whole race like?
Yeah, for sure. It was a pretty awesome race. First of all, obviously you've seen how big the crowd was. Pretty insane the amount of people that turned up to watch. It just makes the atmosphere so much better. And for that race run, it's pretty insane going down the hill. Went all right there, 19th in the end. So wasn't extremely happy, but I was happy enough with that. And to see Loic win, it was pretty awesome. And the run he put down, absolutely smoked everyone. And the crowd just went nuts afterwards. It was pretty insane.
That was probably my favorite event of the year. I think having a world champs in Morzine and Leger is the best place possible. It's just the absolute epicenter of mountain biking in Europe. And the crowd that week was absolutely mental, and the track was sick, and it was good weather and stuff. So I absolutely loved that week, and I loved the track and got a super good result. So that was awesome. Leger was a sick weekend.
Yeah, I mean, second, it's pretty good.
It was sick.
Was it even better because you came back from, Snowshoe and Mont Saint Anne, and then which were pretty average?
Yeah, I felt like after Mont Saint Anne and stuff, people were sort of forgetting about me. At the start of the year, I was on the podium twice and I was right up there, and then I sort of just dropped off the perch. And then, I felt super good in Leger. I was like, oh, this could be my weekend. And then we had a bit of rain the day before race day on the Saturday, I think. No, sorry, it was what day did we race on?
That was it was the night before racing.
Yeah. So
because it started driving up in elite finals.
So anyway, the practice morning of my race day, first run, it was actually really slippery, and I was kind of like, oh god, how are we going to manage this? And did my second run, and it barely dried out anymore. But so it was super slippery for the practice. And the sun, just poked its head over the hills. So it was slowly starting to dry up. But then dropped in for the race run, and the track had dried out a fair bit. It was still pretty slippery. You had to be pretty careful. Otherwise, you were going to end up on the ground for everyone that was racing in the morning. But it was tricky because we had been on a dusty track, and then it sort of went pretty slippery there. But then for Luke and all the elite boys, it dried out again very quickly. So that was a little bit tricky, but managed to stay on the bike and put down a pretty decent run. So that was sick.
It's a pretty sick Australian team this year as well. Just looking at who was there, there was some heavy hitters. But for you in juniors, you've got what's his name, Jordan Williams, and then you've got old mate, the Canadian. I can't remember his name right now.
Yeah.
Jet Jackson.
Yeah, some fast junior boys, that's for sure. Some seriously tough competition. But it was sick as well having like a few more Aussie juniors there as well. Since the last 2 years before that, no one could really get to Europe because of COVID. But it was sick having a few Aussie boys there giving it a shot. So that was really cool to see. So yeah.
And Sasha Kim went pretty good. Did we get sixth?
Yeah. Sasha put out a sick run and got sixth. That was pretty sick to see as well.
Most laid back dude ever.
Yeah, I know. I think he'd just been riding his motorbike on the beach and stuff before the World Champs, looking at his Instagram, doing wheelies and stuff, and then just comes and like almost gets top 5.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
He's a good guy. Yeah, that was sick.
What was standing on the podium at World Champs like for you?
Yeah, it was certainly pretty cool. We sort of had our podium right after our race runs, so there wasn't like some mega crowd there cheering us on, but obviously it was still really sick being on the podium again. So yeah, definitely won't forget that experience.
What was it like for you, Luke? Like you're there as an elite level rider and you're, I guess, not in the shadows, but you're following behind Troy Brosnan and Kyle Hearn, and you've got Dean Lucas there as well. Like there's some pretty heavy hitters on the team. Like,
for sure.
What's that experience like for you?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I sort of, it used to be a bit like fanboy like when I was when I was in like the juniors and looking up to Troy and stuff. But now I sort of see myself as one of them and get along with them all really good. And for sure, we've got quite the Aussie team nowadays. So for the elites, and it's pretty cool. And like with Remi doing so well, it's drives me to do well as well. Like I remember in Andorra, obviously Remi had his big crash, but I was screaming my head off at the bottom, going pretty nuts. And then has the big crash on the last jump. And I remember I was like, I don't even know what came over me, but I was so angry, like not at Remi, but just like I was just so angry that he'd crashed on that, like knowing that he could have got like another podium. And then like I remember dropping in for my race run there, and I'm just like, let's do this for Remi, and I ended up getting 6th. So I mean, not the weekend for Remi, but sort of turned it around for the Meier Smith brothers with a 6th. So it's awesome. Yeah.
Is your dad just in the back of the head saying, "Do it for the family, boys"? Like, keep the name up.
Do it for. We call him Avo Man, actually. Avo
Man. Yeah,
that's so good.
Yeah.
What the news dropped yesterday that Propane doesn't have a downhill team for next year, so it's one of 2 that have been announced, and I think there's a few more coming because of everything that's going on. But how's that kind of hit you guys? Like you would have known in July or something, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So we have we're moving teams for next year. So that was a bit of out of the blue. Sort of Henry just messaged me before. He's like, "Oh, there's no more team anymore," and I'm sort of like, "Shit, have we made the team collapse?" type of thing. But I think
so you moved before, like you knew? Yeah.
We didn't really know that was going to happen or anything. But sort of Henry just messaged me, and I think a few companies like Norco have sort of having a year off, and Propane now. But I think with COVID times as well, it's been pretty hectic for the companies to keep up with all the demands for their teams and selling their products. So, a bit of a surprise, to be honest. But I didn't really know about it either. I just woke up this morning and heard the news, but it's definitely a shame to see that happen because it's a sick team and Ben was running it really well and stuff. So it is sad to see that happen, but I'm sure they'll probably have a year off next year and
for 2024, I'm sure propane will be back on the World Cup circuit. So yeah, that'll be sick.
Are you guys like worried or cautious about all these changes from Red Bull and stuff to ESO, or you just putting that out?
Not really too much. It's definitely on my mind a little bit, but I mean, everyone's in the same boat. Just got to see how it all turns out. Hopefully it does the sport well. I think they should, massive company. So it should be, it's a step forward, I think, for the sport, and just hopefully they can, do the job like Rebel did, to publicize us racing. So, I have faith though. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I haven't really thought about it too much. I often forget. I mean, like, we don't even know who's going to be commentating next year, and we have no idea what it's going to look like or anything. But it's definitely a big change. But hopefully, it's a change in the right direction, and hopefully the sport continues to grow. But I think, I honestly have no clue. Hopefully it's good, but maybe it's not going to be so great. I guess we'll have to wait and find out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to stay positive about it. So
yeah,
I think it'll be sick.
Yeah, hopefully it should be good.
So with your results and stuff from last year, you mentioned that you're moving teams and stuff, but were you getting just offers from everyone on the table?
Yeah, it was I had quite a few offers this year, which is different to most years. You sort of have to, get your foot in the door with the teams and hope they have interest in you. But I had quite a lot of teams on the table coming to me, which was nice for a change. It doesn't really happen that often. So had a bit to choose from, which was cool. And I think super excited with what we've gone with, and next year should be awesome. So
yeah, Luke had a lot of people knocking on the door. I got a few people interested as well, but we've both made the decision to stick together on our new team for next year, and hopefully we're really looking forward to next year, and it should be awesome on the new team. I think it'll be some like fresh air, if you know what I mean, and it should be awesome. Really looking forward to it.
Is it pretty important for you two to stick together when you're moving across teams, or?
Yeah, we were sort of weighing it up through the season, if it is or if it isn't. I definitely say I've, for this year, like, helped Remi out quite a lot, just with being younger and me doing all the driving and that type of thing, and logistics, because it gets pretty hectic overseas, and Remi's pretty young. So I think it's been a help, but we were sort of weighing it up if it needed to be like that. But I think it's good that we've stayed together. But I don't think it mattered too much in the end. Like, say if Remi was to get a really good deal with someone else, he'd be able to manage. But no, it's cool. It's cool to be able to stay together for sure. So as brothers,
I think it'll be good. I mean, we can continue to push each other and stuff.
And bounce off each other a bit.
Especially now that I'm in elite as well. I think let's keep progressing, hopefully. And I think both of us being together should be good. Yeah.
So obviously nothing's been confirmed, but I've heard a rumor that it's a pretty big team that you're going to. Are you excited for the they got a few prototypes out? There's a few big moves and big things happening over there. They're previously a very successful team with certain English riders on there. What are you pretty excited for that opportunity to go to such a big team, and are they going to support you more, and you're going to have a better kind of race support system? So you're pretty excited for that?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So really looking forward to it. like for next year, I'm like more support than I've had with propane, and it should be a step in the right direction for sure. And I'll be able to be full time next year. So just riding. I was sort of working a separate job this year. For
really?
for East Coast Mountain Trails. I was on a small salary this year with propane, but I was also working for East Coast Mountain Trails in the off season whilst training in between and stuff. So be able to be full time next year, which I think is gonna take me to that next level as well. Really looking forward to the new team. We've already ridden the bikes actually when we were overseas, so we love them. So that was sick. So super excited to get racing in 2023.
No, I'm super excited as well. Like Luke said, we jumped on the bikes while we were over there, and it was pretty epic to get on them, and like we absolutely love the bikes. They felt like insane. So that's obviously a really good start, and the support should be awesome as well at the EWS and at the Downhill World Cups. So to be given the opportunity to ride for a new team's pretty awesome. So really looking forward to next year though.
Was it important for you guys to ride the bikes before you signed up?
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a never really been in the situation where you you sign with a new team and it's like, oh, like, are the bikes good? I mean, with any team change, it's like you're hoping the bike's, better or on par with the bike you're already riding. So it was definitely with any team change, you definitely can be a bit worried about if the bike's going to be as good as the one you're on. But we jumped on them and we were super stoked with how they felt. So should be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still amazed at the fact that you're on a pro team winning some of the biggest races in the world and you're still working in the summer. Like, that still blows me away that people are doing that. It's insane.
Yeah, for this year, yeah. But next year should be even bigger. So
full time. Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
Yeah, full time.
Are you a bit nervous about getting into the elite field for downhill next year, Remi?
I'd say I'm pretty excited to be heading to elite next year. I think it's definitely, I mean, the junior field's been so competitive, but obviously it's still a lot easier than the elite field because it's nowhere near as many riders. But I think I'm pretty excited to go into elite. I sort of feel like going into my first year elite, no one's expecting me to do a lot. And you're sort of the underdog again, and no one's really like focusing on you to do well. So I mean, some of my times and stuff this year would have gone pretty well against the elite boys. So I'm pretty confident that I should be able to do well if I put in the work over the next few months. I should hopefully be able to have a good first year as elite. But I definitely want to have a really good year next year rather than just like, because there's a lot of juniors that go into first year elite and sort of fade away a little bit. But I would love to just like come straight in and do really well in my first year elite. I think that would be pretty sick. Yeah. I definitely will be tougher than the junior category. I am looking forward to it though. Yeah.
You guys keen for I guess one of the best races of the year, I reckon it's going to be this year, is the National Downhill Champs mixed in with Cannonball. Like, you guys keen for that? I reckon it's one of the best things ever to happen.
Yeah, I think it should be pretty good. It's a bit different, obviously, with it being Cannonball and then National Champs as well. So, excited for that for sure. It's I'm still weighing up if I'm going to do all the events or just like the downhill and maybe the pump track because it's nationals. So we'll see what we do there. But no, it's definitely exciting, I think. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it should be it would be a massive turnout because it's Cannonball and national champs. So I think it'll be one of the best national champs yet. But yeah, like Luke said, I'm not too sure what the schedule looks like, but I think it'll be pretty hard to do all the races at Cannonball and then do national champs as well, because there's a good chance like the national champs practice will be on the same day as like one of the Cannonball races, like the flow or the pump track. So it'll probably be a pretty exhausting week, but no, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a massive event, I think.
Yeah.
Should be awesome. Yeah.
I think if you leave Cannonball still with some energy, you haven't done Cannonball right. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
If you're not half asleep while driving home, then you haven't done enough.
Yeah.
Easy. We'll start wrapping things up a little bit, I think.
No worries.
For those who are listening, and if you got some juniors out there, like what advice would you give to juniors that are looking to, I guess, take it to the next level with their riding and I guess go pro and head overseas and stuff? Do you have any advice for those juniors?
I'd say just work your ass off and ride a lot, ride as much as you can, and get your fundamentals. Like we started in BMX, it's definitely a help. We still even go to the track nowadays as part of our training. So just give it your best and see where you end up. Really, that's sort of how I've gone about it, I guess, and been 100% committed and put the effort in, and it pays off. So
yeah, I definitely think for the grommets out there looking to give it a crack, definitely. I think if you put in the work, anyone can get there, but obviously it's a very expensive sport to try and go overseas and do all the World Cup racing and stuff. So yeah, I think if you start off in the Australian scene and work your way up and work hard and stay dedicated, and if you can get yourself overseas to the World Cups, just give yourself time against all the European kids and stuff, because it's pretty hard over there. But yeah, if hard work always pays off, and I think anyone could get there if they want to. So yeah, that would be my tip.
100%.
Yeah.
Is there anything you kind of would have done differently up until now?
Probably not, to be honest. I had quite a few injury setbacks when we sort of started out in mountain biking. I went through a year, I think it was in 2017, where I managed to break so we'd started doing like the national downhill series, and I managed to break my arm at one of the rounds, and then recovered from that. And then I think the following year, one of the first national rounds in the Awaba, I broke my wrist, and then recovered from that, and then 5-6 weeks later I broke my femur.
Shit.
Yeah, like literally all in a year. I just had a lot of injuries, and I basically almost quit. But yeah, kept going with it, and I feel like I wouldn't even take that back, to be honest. Like sort of turned me into who I am, I guess, today. And yeah, made me super hungry to do my best and try and be the best one day, type of thing. So, but yeah, I don't think I'd change too much, to be honest. It's been a ride so far.
Yeah, Luke had his fair share of injuries there in 2017. That was pretty horrific there for me. But I've probably been a bit more lucky on the injury side of things. I had my little kidney.
Just that little graze on your kidney.
Yeah. But I wouldn't change too much. I think over the past few years, it's all been pretty good. Yeah.
And last question I asked, it seems to be the hardest for some and some pretty easy. But if you're like real wrecked and you don't want to be racing or you don't want to be doing the drive across Europe or you just don't want to be training, is there any music or anything you do to kind of get motivated or get amped up to get going?
I'd say, I mean, myself, I'm always pretty driven. So like if I need to get somewhere for a race or if there's a long drive ahead, I'm pretty good at soldiering through it. But no, I definitely enjoy my music and have a few different playlists that get me going, I guess. So a bit of music definitely helps, I think, as well.
What are you going to listen to?
A bit of everything. I'd say I'm mostly into my rap though. Mostly rap. Mostly rap and some what's the genre? Nowadays some like sort of like gym beats that are like pretty full on and fast, like bass. Bass. Yeah, lots of bass and stuff.
No, I'm not into the rap music so much.
What are you kind of into, Remi?
Say that again. Sorry,
what are you into, Remi? Like what gets you up?
A bit of everything. I like some old school music, actually.
Yeah.
I think Luke thinks some of my music selection's a bit strange. Like old school funky tunes and stuff. But yeah, I'll probably say I don't listen to music as much as Luke, but no, I listen to a bit of everything, but not a fan of the rappy stuff that everyone likes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like some of the old school groovy beats.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Easy, guys. Well, yeah. Thanks so much for coming on. Thanks for having a chat. It's been really interesting.
Thanks very much, Darren.
No appreciate
worries.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it's been great.
Easy. Well, yeah, I'll probably see. You're not going to Enduro Jam?
Actually, yes, we are. Yeah. I don't know. You're going to race, man.
I think, we're going to head down to Tassie for the Enduro Jam. I don't think I'm going to be racing.
Yeah.
Luke's going to do the race.
I'm going to do the race and sort of, next month is sort of when I'm getting back into my training, like full on. So a bit of a Kickstarter at Maydena. Ryan and I actually staying down there for 2.5 weeks. So
sick.
A week or so after the race or a bit more than that. Yeah. So to get everything kickstarted for 2023. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to bring my bike down and hopefully do some riding, but I think I'm going to spend some time with mum and dad and go do some sightseeing and stuff. And then we're going to leave Luke and Ryan down there because I think I'm probably more thinking like start of January, really getting back on the bike and stuff, just having like a long break, whereas Luke's like real keen to get back into it now,
season's so far away still. It's pretty late next year. So
like the first World Cup's not until, I mean, I want to be like prepared for Cannonball and stuff, but the first World Cup's not until June. It's like 6 months. If I start training in January, it's 5 or 6 months of training. So it's like,
I think it's going to be it's going to be pretty difficult for a lot of people to adapt to that. You guys are lucky because you're new to it, but I think like some of the old school dudes are going to be struggling. So
for sure. Definitely.
Well, in that case, I'll see you in Maydena in about
3 weeks.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for having us on the podcast, Darren.
Easy. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Speak soon.
Cheers,
Bye. There we go. That was the Meier Smith Bros. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Super chill guys. Completely chalk and cheese from each other. Super interesting interview, and I hope you got out of it what I did. Thanks so much to our supporters, Trek, NX Dynamics, Taylor Trails, Lead Out Sports, Franked, where you can use Beyond the Tape 10 to get some discount, Dirt Surfers, you can use Beyond the Tape to get some discount, Crush, and Fist. These guys are absolute legends and they support the podcast so much I wouldn't be able to do it without them. If you want to support the podcast, head over to beyondtape.com, grab some merch, grab your mud guard, grab whatever. If you don't want to grab any merchandise, hit the donate or buy me a coffee tab and you can buy some coffees. That helps keep the podcast running. If you don't have money to spend, or you don't want to give me any cash, spread the word. Tell your mum, tell your nana, tell your dog, tell your ferret, tell whoever, and spread the podcast around. Anyways, thanks for listening, and until next time, go out and have a bunch of fun.